Hello and welcome back to the On the Football Zone and to a weekend preview, previewing all the Premier League games coming this weekend. But before that, we're going to review what we've seen in Europe this week. Starting off in the Europa League, Fenerbahce 1, Manchester United 1. A draw for Jose Mourinho against his old side. And yeah, probably another disappointing result for Ten Hag. But Tottenham got a 1-0 win over AZ, so they'll be pleased that. And Chelsea probably won the harder games they'll face in the Conference League away at Panathinaikos, but they came away with a comfortable win. Man City, good win away at Sparta Prague. Liverpool, probably slightly harder game against Leipzig, but they came through that, and away from home I think that's a really strong result for them. Arsenal won, Shakhtar Donetsk 0. A game that you'd expect Arsenal to win, probably by maybe even a more comfortable margin, but the main thing for them is they came through it. Similar story for Villa against Bologna, and they've taken to the Champions League like a duck to water. Hugely impressive from them. Moving on into the Premier League action, Leicester take on Nottingham Forest. And this is an intriguing one because, the Forest have had a really strong start to the season, actually. Leicester, obviously got that incredible comeback win over Southampton last time out, and Bournemouth as well before that, so they're on a decent run themselves. Forest got that win over Palace last week, before that a draw at Stamford Bridge, so they started the season really well, so they'll be coming into this one feeling pretty optimistic, I'd say. But I think Forest at the moment just look really good, so I'm going to say 2-1 to Forest. Moving on into Man City against Southampton, and as we know, it hasn't exactly been the ideal start to the season for Southampton, has it? Man City, their usual selves pretty strong at the top, looking pretty good, and even though Man City do seem to be having a few injuries at the moment, I think it'll be a pretty brave man to bet against Man City in this game. You'd expect it to be a relatively comfortable win for Manchester City, and I'm going to say it will be a 3-0 win for Man City. Moving on into Brighton against Wolves at the Amex, and Brighton. Going into this one, I'd say will definitely fancy their chances. It's been a pretty strong start to the season for them under the management of Hersler, Wolves coming into this one, I think under under Gary O'Neill, it's just not been the start of the season they'd have wanted for. There are some positive signs, but at the same time, I just think Brighton will have too much from here. Moving on into Brentford against Ipswich at the London Community Stadium, and Brentford coming into this one, I think it's been a relatively decent start to the season for them. I would say a bit up and down, but Ipswich, still just kind of finding their way in the Premier League. So it's one of these games that you feel could go either way really, but I'm going to say it will be a Brentford win. I think at home they'll just have a bit too much for them. Moving on into Aston Villa against Bournemouth at Villa Park, and this is a game which Bournemouth had a relatively decent start to the season, but I think Villa, with the quality of their squad at the moment, I just can't see Villa kind of tripping up in this game. I think they'll have enough to get the win here, so I'm going to say that Villa will pick up a comfortable win. It may not be too easy because Bournemouth are a decent side, but I'm expecting them to have enough. I'm going to say it'll be 2-0 to the Villa. Moving on into Everton against Fulham at Goodison Park. This is another intriguing one. Everton seems to just be picking up slightly after what's been a relatively tough start to the season, but Fulham at the same time I think showing signs of life as well. So I'd say Fulham maybe slightly ahead of where Everton are at the moment, but two games that two teams that I think will be relatively even match coming into the season. Everton having home advantage. I'm going to say it all kind of leads to a draw. Moving on into West Ham against Manchester United at the London Stadium, and West Ham coming into this one. It's not been a great start to the season. Fans aren't really happy about Lopetegui's style of play, but they're playing up against Manchester United, who themselves are struggling, and you just feel like at the moment Ten Hag really is on edge, and any result could kind of end it at the moment for him. So I'm going to say it'll be a draw here. Will that be enough? Who knows? But moving into Palace against Tottenham at Selhurst Park, and this is another intriguing one. Palace coming into this one. It's not been a great start to the season. There are signs that Palace could maybe start to improve, I think at the moment Tottenham probably are ahead, but at the same time it would be pretty Spursy to kind of go and lose to these sorts of teams, wouldn't it? I'm going to say Palace have to kind of keep form at some point, but I'm going to say it 1-1. Moving on into Chelsea against Newcastle at Stamford Bridge. And yeah, this is another interesting one. Two teams that need to be improving and the start of the season off pretty well. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one here. But I think Chelsea at the moment, they've just got that little extra star quality at the moment. I just feel like with the likes of Cole Palmer performing really, really well and stuff like that. And I just feel like that could be enough to give Chelsea a win here. Moving on into Liverpool against Arsenal at the Emirates. And yeah, Liverpool coming into this one, in a tough position, I would say. In a good position after a good start to the season. Against an Arsenal side who are really suffering with injuries. Obviously, it's huge doubts over who's going to be available, and that's going to make it a tough game for them. So I'm going to say it'll be a 2-2 draw. That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials. Link in the description below for daily football news, meme, and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.